Yo, this thing's back. 2009 Jeep Patriot. I put an intake runner controller in it about a month ago because it was pulling this code, a P2004. Now it's got two codes. It's got a P2017 as well. It lasted about 3 weeks and then the check engine light came on with this. In my last video, I replaced this intake runner controller that's right there. And the one that's in it right now is spring loaded and the other one was broke. It just kind of moved wherever it wanted to. And the butterfly was free on this intake. And now I took that thing out about 4 days ago to check it and it was stuck. And I just took a needle nose and turned it and it got unstuck and it sprang back to home. And I started wiggling around the butterflies and I got it to move again, and then I started wiggling it some more and it got stuck. So basically I fixed the cause and not the problem. So I'm gonna be diving into this intake manifold. Damn Chrysler plastic junk tried to fool me. So there it is. This is a Mopar part. There's the part number on the box. Got it off of Rock Auto. Looks like there's only 5 bolts on the top of the intake. I think there's a bolt on this throttle body that's bolted to the block, and there might be a bolt here in this vacuum line. I'm gonna tear into this thing. We'll see how it goes. I'm gonna take this top cover off. This just pulls straight up. There's 4 little nubs on it. Turn these a quarter turn. This cover comes out. Gee, I feel like I've done this before. This thing's gonna have fuel pressure in it, and I gotta relieve the fuel pressure. Got some crappy old rags here. And you push in these 2 green tabs and push down. Fuel should go all over the place. So I'm just gonna wrap some rags around this line, wiggle it around and pull it back. And it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was gonna be. I'm just going to leave this sit right here in case it wants to drip. Hope it don't start a fire. I can unplug this air temp sender. I just pull it out of the tube. This clamp is an 8mm or a regular screwdriver. I'm going to pull this hose out. I have a bunch of injectors here, and they got little child-proof connectors on them. These little red connectors, you got to pull straight up on these. This fuel rail's dripping, so I'm gonna put a rag right here too. And then there's a tab in there you push in and they should come out. They don't want to come out. There's a little hanger here. I'm gonna pull straight up on that. You're on kind of a threaded stud. I have a PCV valve here on a 24mm. I suppose you could just pull it out of the line. I'll leave it in there. I'm pretty sure this is a variable timing control solenoid. I'm going to push in on that and pull it out. And then down here, I don't know, this looks like a temperature sensor of some kind. The child-proof connector on it that I gotta pull back. Try a really small hook tool on this. Pull back on that little red thing. And I don't know, I got another hook tool here. I'm gonna push in on it. Hopefully I can get this one out of here. Here it goes. There's another child-proof connector on this. I believe this is a map sensor. Try to pull back on this cheesy thing without it breaking. It's fairly cheesy and it feels like it wants to break. It don't want to move. Unbelievable with the child-proof connectors. I don't know if it's full of dirt from being a dirt road queen or what, but I'm gonna try to blow this out a little bit. What is the deal with the child-proof connectors? There it goes, finally. Push this tab in. Hopefully this thing will come out. It's never a good idea to pull on the wires either. No, I'm not gonna bother. That plug, I don't know what's going on. It's a little stuck, so I'm just gonna get in here with I got a mid-well socket and a 7mm. Just gonna unbolt it. Yeah, there's a little O-ring sealing that in. See if I can unplug the thing now. There it goes. It's just filthy and dirty. And on the other side, I don't know, I'm gonna lift this thing up just because I can. Maybe that'll help give me some more room. I got what looks to be a camshaft position sensor over here with no child-proof connector. Amazing. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, that's what I want right there. I got 2 vacuum lines on the front of this intake manifold, so I can unplug this hose, this breather hose from the air box, and I can just pull this straight up. There's like some little rubber things that are these 3 little pegs that are stuck in there. There's a union right here. Yeah, get that vacuum line out because that's going to the intake manifold. Got a little bungee cord. I'm going to bungee this out of my way for now. There's an evap line right here that's going to the intake too. There's a little plastic tab on these, and you pull back on this tab and it should pop right out. I'm going to take this battery out. Maybe it'll give me a little more room. You always take off the negative first, put the negative on last. These are 10mm. And I got a 13mm hold down clamp. I got a really long extension on a ratchet. You don't need to unbolt it. You just need to loosen it up enough to slide the thing out of the way. I might as well get this intake pipe off. I can see there's an 8mm or a regular screwdriver right here. I can get my hand down in there pretty easy. I'm just using an 8mm and a deep well. I got that clamp loose enough. I should be able to take this pipe right out. There's something hung up on the thing. Chrysler was nice enough to bury a wire loom on the bottom of this tube. So I gotta take this off before I can get the thing out. What wonderful ideas these people have. Okay, now that I got that clamp loose and everything, that comes right out. That's the little hole with the dumb little wire loom. And that thing with the green stripe on it, that's the connector for the throttle body. I need to unplug that. And that, you got 2 clips, one on each side. You got to squeeze. See these 2 tabs here and here? You just squeeze these together and that comes out. Intake runner control's got a child-proof connector on it. And, oh, I left it unplugged because I think I'm smart. Wonky, janky, clippy thing here. Wiggle it back and forth profusely until it finally feels like coming off. Try to move this evap line without breaking it. I put it up here with this other line so it slides up with the intake. Now I have a bracket on this throttle body that's bolted onto the transmission. 2 10mm on this. And then this 13mm. Might be easier to get in here with a ratcheting wrench. Now I can get these 5 intake manifold bolts out. If I look down this hole next to this dipstick, see all that dirt and crud buried around it? I just might blow all this out first. Put my dipstick back in it for now, make sure no dirt gets in there. Cover this throttle body. I'm going to get at what I think is going to be the worst one first. I just got a 13mm swivel socket on a 1/4" drive. It looks fairly straight from right here. I might not even need a swivel socket. These aren't very tight either, so a 1/4 inch should get them out just fine. That's a nut, and it fell down. I thought it was a bolt. Time to go fishing. This looks like the next fun one. If you look down where the battery used to be, if you get your head down in here, you can barely see that bolt with a flashlight. Get my magnet out. Do some fishing for this one. I got another nut here. Take this dipstick out again. I got 2 more easy bolts that I can actually kind of see. I think I got it all. Now with any kind of luck and skill, I should be able to sneak this out somehow. These wires seem a little too short. I got another little hold down wire loom thingamajigger right here I'm going to take off. That should give me more room. Try to get this sucker out and around that actuator now. Looks like I'm going to have just enough room. Pull this back. Oh my god, this thing is crammed in here. I need more room. I have a 10mm on this heater hose bracket that is definitely in my way. See if that'll give me enough room to sneak this out. I just got to be careful of that camshaft sensor and everything else. I don't want to pull on these wires too hard either. I got it. This does look like the same part, and it's made in Canuck land. This comes with the map sensor too, so I really didn't need to unbolt that at all. I'm going to want to see why this crusty thing is all goofy. That'll be interesting to see, but for right now I'm just going to try to get this stuff off without wrecking it. Get this vacuum hose off of here first. Ow! That didn't tickle. I'm just going to put some brake cleaner in here and clean this throttle body out. Well, there it is, nice and clean enough. Looks good on the inside. I'm leaving just a little gap in there. It's not moving around and wiggling. And I'll tighten all of those down when I get the other 2 bolts in. 13mm deep well on these on this fuel injector rail. I'm going to try to be careful taking this out. Just going to pry it out just a little bit at a time. I'm going to reuse these O-rings. They look good. I'm going to put a little silicone paste on these O-rings just so they slide in real nice. A lot of times I use gear oil. Seems to work just fine too. And I'll just give these a little wiggle. Make sure they fall in, and they slid right in. I'm going to torque these to 13 foot-pounds. I'm going to try not to get anything to drop down into this intake, which is almost impossible. I got a little razor blade here I'm going to clean this surface up with a little bit. Put a little brake cleaner on a rag and wipe this surface down now. I'm going to blow it out a little bit. On with the junk. I'm just going to carefully line up these studs. Some people call this jute or dum-dum. It's just some black sticky crap you use on to fill holes in firewalls, and I'm just going to put a little bit of it in the socket and then put this nut in it, and that should hold it in from falling out. I'm going to try to do the same thing with this one bolt, and that should hold that in there. I'm going to look down in here with a flashlight again and try to get this dumb thing in here. Might as well bolt this thing back up. I'm going to start in the center and I'm going to work my way out. So I'm going to go here, here, and then the end one's last. And I'm just going to snug these down a little bit. I'm just going to squish the gasket down basically. I'm going to start in the center and work my way out again. I'm going to final torque these to 18 foot-pounds. Now I can deal with this bracket. These bolts almost seem like they're a little too short. I'm just going to gradually draw them down. I'm just going to go in a circle. Snug them down until they zero. And I'm just going to go a little bit at a time and crush that O-ring just little by little. I'm going to torque these down to about 70 inch-pounds, which is about 6 foot-pounds, I think. They really don't need to be that tight, so that feels really nice. Might as well start plugging in the wires and stuff. This cheesy throttle body connector don't want to go in. The waterproofing's probably a little goofy. I'm going to put just a little bit of deep creep on this waterproof connector. I just want to put it on the seal. Hopefully this cheesy thing will go in now. Yeah, it slides right in with a little deep creep on there. Clear these codes. It runs. There's no check engine light for right now. Well, I might as well dissect this thing just to try to figure out what gives. Huh. Yeah, that did the same thing. It was stuck in some goofy position. Now it's sprung back. What the heck, Norman? I got a feeling this goofy manifold broke it. Oh, you little bastard. Now it's working. It was getting stuck. I don't know if there was carbon built up in here or what. It wouldn't surprise me if it had a chunk of something in here. I was turning it the other day and it was getting stuck. It wouldn't move. And then I'd wiggle it around a little bit and it'd start working again. The goofy thing. I think this comes out. Yup. 7 millimeters. I don't know, it looks like a simple enough system. I don't understand why this thing was getting stuck before. What a bunch of cheesy junk. Yeah, I might have just been able to clean this thing out or something, but for all this goofing around, why should I bother? I know this thing don't work right. And this was stuck the last time I looked at it. Cheesy junk. Okay, bye.